Dudes, today we got to talk about something that's a little bit of a serious thing going on here. Something that I never thought I'd see the day coming. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. Like, it's actually pretty big news in regards to Genshin Impact, I guess, haters, or just in general people who wanted to see Genshin Impact kind of get their comeuppance, right? Or, like, just in general, some stuff has happened in the EU. And I think that what happened with the EU has caused this motion. For those who don't know, in the EU, they had this whole law thing going on. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. But basically, it was kind of going over, like, you can't really do gacha game stuff in the sense of, like, predatory practices, right? And I do have it pulled up right here. It's actually in the ZZZ Reddit here. The EU published new guidelines against harmful practices using virtual currencies, which will affect gacha games, and they seem awesome. Yes, they do seem awesome. Pretty dang good, in fact. What does that mean exactly? Well, in this notion, you basically have to publish how many polls it's going to take for you to get a certain unit, the percentages on the home screen type of stuff, and basically requiring age restrictions on certain aspects of the game. So we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into that. So follow me as we talk about this. Like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Don't forget to check out GamerSupps. Use code Tystra for 10% off. Guys, the supplement that just keeps on giving. So many good, fantastic things come from GamerSupps, and I am a big fan of it. And if you're watching this video, tomorrow we have Kaiju-chan coming out, which I am very stoked for. They're finally releasing a plushie and a big plush rug. Lots of cool stuff coming up from there. And also they do VTubers. Like, oh, look, is this Bao's ass? Absolutely. And it tastes heavenly. Bao, please don't watch this and put a restraining order on me. I'm just joking. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive in a little bit more about this. So before we get into what Genshin Impact did, let's actually dive a little bit deeper on what this is. And I do want to thank this user here, Tiny Transfem, for posting these guidelines. Pretty cool. So, action points to be taken when in-game virtual currencies or in-game digital content or services are offered for sale. Their price and in-world money should be clearly and prominently displayed, meaning that you know how much money you're spending to get a certain unit. Big thing for gacha games because a lot of people don't realize how much they're spending on Genshin Impact. So this is a pretty big deal. When in-game virtual currencies is offered in exchange for other in-game virtual currency, which the users can buy with real-world money, its price should be indicated also in real-world money. So basically, what you're gonna need to see exactly how much you're paying to get as much, currency, right? So you're not paying to get a little bit of extra every single time. It's a little weird in the wording. I have a hard time really understanding that, but basically, like, what you're paying for is not an overestimate of what you need, right? If that makes sense. When in-game digital content or services are offered in exchange for the in-game virtual currency, they can be bought directly or indirectly via another in-game virtual currency. Their price should be indicated in real-world money. The price should be indicated based on what the consumer would have to pay in full, directly or indirectly via another in-game virtual currency, the required amount of in-game virtual currency without applying quantity discounts or other promotional offers. Although consumers may acquire in-game virtual currency in different ways and quantities, for example through gameplay and due to promotional offers, this does not change the price of the in-game digital content or services itself. This price must constitute an objective reference for what the real-world monetary cost is, regardless of how the consumer acquires the means to purchase it, right? So basically it's saying you could buy the currency directly. So instead of buying, in this case, for Genshin Impact, instead of buying just Primo Gems, you could buy the Intertwined Fates directly. And it would be the exact cost of what you would be paying for that instead of buying the packs and having an overabundance of the extra stuff, right? So you summon. You buy, the $19.99 whatever pack for Genshin Impact, and you get more than a couple of, you get more than 2 summons, basically, right? 2 multis. But if you just want to buy the 2 multis, you get it a little bit cheaper, or at least that's how it feels like, right? Offering in-game virtual currencies only in bundles, mismatching the value of purchasable in-game digital content and services, and denying customers or consumers the possibility to choose the specific amount of in-game virtual currency to be purchased. Now, why is that a big deal, right? Well, in essence, we're going to be able to actually buy, again, the direct currency. And it's already shown in Genshin Impact, right? I'm going to pull up another thing as well really quick while I'm talking about this, because this is still pretty dang huge, right? It's not something that anybody truly expected to actually happen with Genshin Impact. So, I'm not going to be, I don't think I'm going to be able to fight it, but we're going to go ahead and dive into the first thing, which is the age verification stuff. Sorry, I've been drinking a little bit. I won't lie. Get a little bit spicy here. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Genshin Impact released a statement, and this is an actual one. It is verified. Dear travelers, we are required by law to age verify U.S. player accounts. The age verification process will be rolled out to all U.S. players by May 20th, while log in if already have one or account registration. Please ensure to provide your age information by July 18th of 2025. Failure to verify will result in account suspension. In-game friends and chat records will be deleted. No further notifications post-suspension due to inaccessible account information as required by law. If the verification is not completed by July 20th of 2026, the personal information of your Hoyoverse account will be deleted permanently. So what does this mean? Basically, youngins are fucked. Like, if you are way too young to be gambling, you will probably not be playing this game. So I like exactly what this comment string is about. I looked at it a little bit. Miss T032403. They already did something like this in my country. Freaked me out at first because they were asking for ID number. How hard was it to verify, if you don't mind me asking? Basically, there would be a form you need to fill before you can log into the game. I just typed my ID number in and other info they asked. That's all. Doesn't sound too bad at all. And I do agree. I think that if you are, like, it's the same thing when you go to a casino. You have to provide ID to be able to gamble, to drink, anything like that. And this is exactly it. Like, this game is a gambling game. Gacha games are gambling. Shocker. Very predatory practices, but it shouldn't be for kids. So now we get to the one thing from this kid right here. What if I don't have an ID because I'm a minor? I'm 15. Would that still be okay to verify then? And love the comment. Your age demographic is why they are doing this. I love this game, but I will call it gambling. You are too young to be getting into gambling. I don't know if Hoyo will respond to anybody who is too young, or if this will just lock you out of spending or what. I truly hope that it is putting the kids away from the game. Like, people under the age of 18 should not be playing gacha games. It's just how it is, right? I really, really hope that they don't let anybody without an ID. Like, it's as simple as that, in my opinion. We also got another string of comments here as well from Tartis. Depends on how they are verifying it. Government ID verification is already the norm on gambling apps, understandably so, and you basically have to send them a copy of your government-issued ID. I'm on the poker app, and I gave them a copy of the front and back side of my ID. I believe this is definitely something many governments want to move towards in general, as it'll be easier to police the internet if you can link users to their real ID. Companies like Hoyo obviously would be against this because it'll hurt their profits, as there will be a lot of people unwilling to provide real ID. It is true. A lot of people would probably decline providing a real ID, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, we have to understand that if you are not willing to provide this information to a game that is going to require it, and I think all gacha games really should be doing this, in my personal opinion, then in all fairness, you shouldn't be able to play the game, especially if you're not willing to provide an ID to show that you are of age to gamble, or if you are, somebody who just wants to play the game. At the end of the day, you should be old enough to be around gambling, right? You shouldn't be underage. That's just my opinion. You shouldn't be underage. You shouldn't be underage around a casino, is basically what I'm saying. If you're not old enough to go to a casino and play roulette or the slots, you're not old enough to play a game that is going to be predatory about making you buy, microtransactions. It's just how it is, right? If you know how does this work, with like gambling age in the U.S. being 21, but in other countries it's lower, how does that interaction work? It'll be based off where you live. For example, in my country, you have to be 18 to gamble, but to get access to free rolls, you have to be 24. Since it's a real money gambling app, you also have to link your bank account, so I guess they determine where you live based off of your ID and bank account. Now, obviously, Genshin or any gacha game is not going to require your bank account information, at least so far as I know. But if you're providing your ID, it's going to probably go through a system to verify how old you are, and then it's going to say, hey, yo, you can't be playing this game. Now, is there going to be ways around it? Absolutely. I think there is going to be ways around it. Everyone finds a way around it, but I'm just saying, I think that this is a step in the right direction, especially for kids, right? Kids should not be playing these games. But why are we talking about this and not talking about the other stuff? I'll get to that. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because this is really important in the scope of how gacha games are played. Gacha game profits are going to die down heavily across the board. It's not just Genshin Impact. You're going to see Honkai Star Rail fall down. You're going to see Wuwa, ZZZ, Nikkei, freaking Summoner's War, Arc Knights, all that stuff. You're going to see profits die down a little bit. Maybe not a lot, but you're going to see a decrease for sure. Now, we move on to Twitter, and we talked about this a little bit in regards to the actual EU guidelines, and these are actually a part of the game as well. Like, this is new. So, as you can see, it'll tell you exactly what's going on. You're paying 99 cents or $1.32 with tax. You're getting 0.7 pulls, right? You're not getting a full pull. It actually goes through and tells you how many pulls you're going to get. And that's pretty crazy to me. I think that that's crazy in a good way. It tells you how many you're going to get, at least from this one. Now, again, you can purchase the actual Intertwined Fates directly to get yourself the exact amount that you want, but this is basically based off of promotional stuff like, hey, if you buy this pack, you get bonus of this and you can get more, right? So, why is that important? Well, it shows you how much you're actually going to get. And as you can see, the $100 pack does not even guarantee you that you're going to get even a 5-star. That puts it into a big perspective, right? You're only getting 50.5 pulls. That's pretty crazy to think about, right? You're not getting a full pity rotation, right? You're barely over half. And I think that's something to really consider when you're looking at this and going, maybe, just maybe, I shouldn't buy the $100 pack. Now, of course, we also see right here in this bottom right corner the actual verbiage that is on the banners as well. The consolidated probability of obtaining 5-star event exclusive characters, including wish guarantees and capturing radiance, is 1.103%. The cost of obtaining the 5-star event exclusive character may vary from $1.98 to $475.2. $475 to get one character. Now, if that doesn't deter people away from summoning on these banners, I don't know what will. To spend almost $500 to get a unit. Now, granted, it's very low that happens, right? Especially with the in-game currency. You know, you get a lot of in-game currency as well. So there's a chance, well, a big chance that that's not going to cost. But if you truly think about it, like a person starts the game, they're level 1, they have not moved from the beach. They just want to summon, and they want to get characters so that they can get going, right? They pull and pull and pull. They buy 2 of the $100 packs right out the rip, you know, and they're buying like whatever they can to get that one hard pity. They have bad luck. Boom, they get a Diluc, right? Let me rephrase that. They get a Chi-Chi. They hate their life, right? Nobody wants a Chi-Chi when they summon on these banners. They got to do it again. They have to buy another $250, basically, to get confirmed that you got, you know, your chef girl in escoffier. Does that not make it seem way worse? Like, this is big, and this is, like, a big, like, step in the right direction. Because now we're going to see these predatory practices actually being checked. They're not as predatory, and it's going to be more like, you know, a drug dealer and a, you know, person who's going to get drugs. Like, they have the itch, they have the money, they want to go do it, right? I think that overall it's still a bad thing, but I think that with all these new additions, kids are a lot safer in this regard. Now, is this going to stop kids from playing? Absolutely not. We all know that kids are going to find a way around this and be a part of the Genshin Impact universe in some way, shape, or form. However, I think that this is going to deter a lot of people in general from trying and basically finding better games to waste their time on. Like actual games that fit that demographic, right? Am I saying that, like, this is the most amazing thing ever? No, it's a step in the right direction, though. I think that there's a lot of things that they could do, and I think that Genshin Impact being the first of the Hoyo games is just, like I said, it's just the first. It's a stepping stone. I think that Honkai Star Rail is going to be the next one, for sure, that goes through this change. Maybe even Honkai Impact third, but I can tell you right now, out of the big three from Hoyoverse, which is Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and ZZZ, that Honkai Star Rail has their live stream coming up, and they'll probably maybe allude to something about it. I don't know. They probably won't, though. But we will see when we go into Honkai Star Rail's next update that these changes will probably take place as well. And then ZZZ will go through the same thing when it comes to the 2.0 update. That's just me, though. But with all that, I want to know in the chat, what is your take from this? Do you like these changes, or do you think that they could be better? I will tell you right now, this is a great change to the game. It's not perfect, but it is better. And this is going to help a lot of families who have these kids who run up mommy's credit card. Instead of buying V-Bucks, they're buying Primo Gems, right? And it's like $20,000. Hey, we had that guy simp for Fiorina and spend all of the money that he had for emergency funds, and he got a divorce for it. Now, stuff like this might deter people from doing that, right? I don't know. There is crazy people still. They're probably going to spend a lot of money. And I've seen a lot of the stupid accounts where they go, hey, I'm going to buy 25 of this character and 50 of the weapon just to support my billion-dollar company. But hey, you know, that's just me. I think that's crazy and stupid. But anyways, y'all, let me know what you think about these changes in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all, and we will see you all in the next video. Please take care and be safe.